following is a presentation of Learfield IMG College. From the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield IMG College.
Wings up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern!
This is Inside Eagle Nation, your all-access look into Eagle athletics.
Taking a look through all the other action in Georgia Southern athletics this past week. A lot of road action. A lot of teams hitting the old I-16 out of town.
Getting on the steel horse and taking us to parts north, south, west, wherever. Can't really go too much farther east.
Now let's return to the Learfield IMG College studios. Here are your hosts, Colin Lacy and Danny Reed.
That's a fact, Jack.
Welcome into another edition of Inside Eagle Nation, episode number 192 here on a Monday in Statesboro. Colin Lacy alongside a couple of pinch hitters. I think it's the Georgia Southern Sports Properties takeover of Inside Eagle Nation.
You need to get with your announcer because that doesn't look like Danny Reed, and I know Danny Reed, and I'm not Danny Reed.
Yes, we're very aware.
Okay, good.
Terry Harvin alongside Taylor Brown, coordinator for Georgia Southern Sports Properties. Terry has about 7 different titles, and everybody knows them all.
Yeah, but most of them we can't say on the air.
That's true. That's the only one.
Even
Frank's
though this
gives
is
you.
really not regulated by the FCC.
That's true.
But still, I know my mother listens.
That's true.
Yeah, and my wife.
I would be more afraid of Lori and your mother than the FCC.
And Jared Benko.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Can't misrepresent.
But a special edition of Inside Eagle Nation coming up this week. A lot to get to. Had a couple of announcements from the Sun Belt Conference coming out earlier on today. But you have come in, and we're going to talk about Sun Belt Conference Media Day coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. Tuesday is the Eastern Division of the Sun Belt Conference Football Media Day. Western Division on Wednesday. So Danny is down in New Orleans. Ergo why you are here co-hosting the podcast.
And you're not. You usually go on that trip.
I do.
They let me go twice.
That's right. You did go to
Never
Sun Belt
allowed
Media
back.
Day.
My picture's up at the border there. When you go into New Orleans.
border?
Well, in New Orleans, the city limits, it says, I'm not allowed back. I'm just kidding you. I just want to kept you guys in control. But no, you know what? Before you start this whole looking forward, yada, 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 when we get into sports, let's look backwards. Because last week, without a doubt, was probably the most special, if that's the right way of saying it, personal week for Georgia Southern Sports Properties.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, because last week, in case you don't know, somebody at this table, somebody in this little group, wife had a baby. Baby Nathan, welcome to the world with like the best middle name ever. Nathan Edward Lacy was born.
And why is that special?
Wait a minute. We're going to back up.
The middle name part or Nathan? Nathan's special. So, Colin and Rachel, congratulations. Tell us about Nathan real quick.
Beautiful baby boy on Tuesday of last week.
Big kid already.
8 pounds, 3 ounces.
Long.
Yeah. 20 and a half inches long. I think last measurement was 21 and a half.
Yeah.
So already growing.
That's awesome.
But a fun week to be able to welcome him into the world. But you bring up Edward.
So you're diverting already.
No.
We're talking about Nathan here.
No. So Edward is
Great
my
middle
dad.
name.
Yeah.
I appreciate you naming him after me. That
Uh-huh.
I'm really taken back by it. But
you had always said that the baby should have been Terry. It could have been a
boy or
a
girl, Terry.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
So we had decided that the boy name was going to be Nathan Edward Lacy because my dad's middle name, Kenneth Edward Lacy.
I'm Terrence Edward Harvin.
For some reason, I can't remember if it was your LinkedIn or I saw something last week, about Tuesday or Wednesday, probably the week before now, that I saw all of your signatures and whatnot are always Terry or Terrence E. Harvin. And for whatever reason, it clicked last week. I'm like, wait a minute. I know Terry's middle name. I think it's Edward. This is going to be...
And you and Taylor didn't know.
This is going to be a whole scene. And so I go to Taylor, who has known you probably as long as I have. Maybe a little bit longer. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, you know him well enough.
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, what is Terry's middle name? And you're like, I know it starts with an E. I'm like, yeah, we got that.
I said Eugene.
Yeah, we thought it was Eugene.
Eugene would have been a good guess. There's a new show, not a new show. It's been on Netflix, and I introduced both of these two to it. And I'm not going to say it, but Howie Mandel, he is the host of it. It's called BS. Okay. Bullcrap.
Right.
And the whole show is about trying to figure out. You ask the question to the person at the podium, and 3 people have to figure out if he or she are telling the truth or not. And they make up a very good answer. Mm-hmm. And y'all love the show, and I talked about how much I love it. So they asked the question, what's your middle name? And I just said real quickly, Ezekiel. And you didn't believe me, Taylor, in particular. And I said, my mother and father, very biblical. And they went with the biblical name of Ezekiel. And you guys kind of bought it for a minute. And then I said, well, let me throw another one. Then y'all say, yeah, kidding. I said, no, you're right. I was just messing with y'all. It's Eduardo. And y'all started laughing. And then I went into this long story about how because we're Irish, the Harvin clan is Irish. And when the Irish came over to the United States, they were not treated very well.
Right.
And very badly. And then they had the Mexican-American War. Uh-huh. And they went down and fought for America, but it was treated horribly. And many of the Irish crossed the border, crossed sides, and went into Mexico and became citizens of Mexico. And there's a whole clan down there, a community of Irish Mexicans. And to this day... And I said my father was big historian in genealogy, traced our name back and to a relative named Eduardo. And out of respect, my father did that. So an Irish-Mexican name of Terrence Eduardo Harvin. And you guys actually bought it.
Just for a little bit.
I had you right there. And to the point that, you were there. You were all in. Because that is an amazing story. And you bought it. But here's the best part of it. When I finally told you I was kidding you, I told you my name was Edward, you didn't believe me.
Well, we didn't know.
Imagine why.
Yeah, we didn't know what to believe.
You went with Ezekiel, biblical. You went with a Mexican-Irish community that nobody knows about. They named Eduardo, but you didn't go for Edward.
Edward was too simple for you.
It's kind of like the boy that cried wolf. It's the boy that cried Edward.
So you named your child between... me and Nate Hirsch. I love it. Nathan, Edward, Harvin. All right, Harvin. Some of you didn't know about.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
Edward Lacy. So we're going to call him.
My dad.
Nate Eddie.
My dad brings up a good point.
What's that?
Said that maybe we named him Edward after you because you saved my life on a foul ball.
I did. That was a traumatic day for you. And you're still in therapy. And
don't you still have that ball?
I do. I still have the ball, and you've been in fetal position ever since underneath the table as I saved his life from a foul ball. So anyway, congratulations to you and Rachel. I did want to look back on that because it was a special week for y'all, for us. We're a family, everybody connected, the athletic program. So congratulations. Your mom and dad were down there. Rachel's parents are here. Nathan is awesome. I got a chance to visit yesterday and brought back some good ones sitting there on my chest. And, that's the thing about being a dad. I know you, I'm going to assume, which you shouldn't do, you're not a singer, right?
No.
No, nor am I. But the best part when they're babies is they don't know you're not. And I remember singing to my girls for years until they got old enough to realize I suck.
Well, unless they're crying, then they kind of know.
No, and I put them down because they stopped crying so that I quit singing. And so it was a lot of Love Me Tender Elvis or whatever it was, Harry Connick or whatever. We sang a lot. So I got to do that a little bit yesterday with Nathan, and I had an awesome time.
I was wondering why he was crying when I got home.
Yeah, because you wouldn't sing to him. So we're going to work on your ability to sing. Okay. So the other great announcement that I want to get to quickly is not quickly. Taylor!
Yes.
Wow. What a week for you.
Has it?
Yeah, I think so. Taylor, you went to Orlando, a little special trip there.
Yes, with my family. And
something happened?
Yeah.
Care to tell us?
Well, this past, Thursday night?
You forgot already.
I was about to say, wow.
This past Thursday night, we were actually eating dinner, and my boyfriend Andrew and his family was there. My family was there. He proposed to me. So I am now engaged.
Okay. So you did say yes, right?
Yes, I did. I promise.
Look at that camera. Hold up the ring.
Let's see it.
There you go. Perfect.
Yes.
Look at that ring.
So I'm so excited about it.
And you're the last one to know.
Yeah, I know. You guys knew before I did.
We had a little wager in the office as far as when he would announce, and I picked the month of July, so I won.
See,
I
still
think it's
you're
still
cheating.
I didn't know
cheating.
though. He would not. We didn't get into the details and the dates, but he didn't tell me. But I picked July because I was thinking he's a coach, a recruiter, works for Georgia Southern football. We'll get into that in just a minute. So I was using a little strategery, and I picked July. And Colin, let's see, Cam picked September.
Right.
No, he picked August.
August.
He picked on my heels.
Because you were going to have a backup of September.
I was. And then because I wanted him to dress up as Gus and be on the field during the first game and do it then, but nobody would buy into it. And I wanted to sell it because I thought International Diamond would love it. But anyway, so Colin, your month was January?
I said January, February, that after the season, when they got a trip to get away and kind of decompress from the season, that's when it was going to happen.
Yeah, no,
but I didn't have the insider information of a certain somebody.
So when did you find out?
When he called me to pick up the ring.
Oh, okay.
So
Literally.
Terry had the ring before you did.
No, I held
that's
the
true.
ring. I held the ring without even knowing it.
That's the beauty. See, Leonard gave Andrew a cup from Frederica because I like cups, drink your coffee out.
Yeah,
It was
weird.
really cool. And so he gave it to Andrew to give to me, and it was in a bag. And they were coming over to the house under the guise of bringing me this cup. So Andrew actually handed the bag to Taylor, which had the ring in it.
Yep.
And so she actually carries the ring, didn't even know it, brings it to me with
That's
Andrew.
fantastic.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we had it. I put it in the safe, and I actually was wondering because y'all were going to Orlando, and I thought, I wonder if you would. And I told Lori this. I almost took I did take the ring out of the safe, and I thought, I'm going to bring it with me just in case because I know they're leaving that day, just in case. And I felt so freaky because I didn't want to lose the ring.
I'm glad you did
that
it.
I ran back in the house, put it back in the safe, and locked it up. Get back in the truck. I'm driving on the bypass, and I get a text from Andrew. Hey, can I come over and get the ring? I'm like, you're kidding me. So I turned around and went back and got it. But congratulations to you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Graduate, get your master's degree in May, right?
Yes, I graduated in May with my master's.
Undergrads from Georgia Southern. And then you get engaged here. Awesome.
And you go from working with the EFAA the last couple of years.
Yes.
And you've had to be with him for...
the blessing.
Right. And then
She's
you
been
decide
blessed.
to come to Georgia Southern Sports Properties, and you spend more time with him.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I'm on a contract for like 5, 10 years, 20 years. It keeps going up, so who knows?
Trust me, it will.
When she was still in college undergrad, she came on board for the coordinator for the Eagle Football Alumni Association. I used to tease her that she had a multi-year contract.
Right.
And so she's just fulfilling that multi-year contract now with Georgia Southern Sports Properties, and we're very pleased about that. She does an amazing job and connected to football because Andrew is the assistant director of recruiting for Georgia Southern football.
Player
correct?
personnel, yes.
Player personnel, that's the right title. He too has his undergrad and his master's from Georgia Southern. Double Eagle, so there's 2 double Eagles there.
Yep.
Andrew's dad is Leonard Bevel, the head of the Athletic Foundation, who's also a double Eagle. His mother, Sandra, is a double Eagle. And his brother, one day, Josh, is going to graduate from Georgia Southern and finally get his degree.
Yep.
But that's coming up hopefully soon here. So that's awesome.
I know.
That's a lot of Eagles.
It's a lot of Eagles in that house. So it was a great week for Georgia Southern Sports Properties. We have babies, we got engagements. Cam got engaged, a few months earlier?
Yeah.
He gets married this next year.
There you go. A lot of exciting things happening that I knew Eagle Nation would be very pleased about. And you see Cam a lot, you see Colin and Danny, but you don't often get to see Taylor, and thought it'd be a great job for you to see her. She does amazing work, and I appreciate you. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats.
Awesome
I'm excited.
stuff. Awesome stuff. Oh, you know what?
What?
So when Andrew asked her daddy, can I tell this story?
Yes, you can. It's
I think I
funny.
heard this one earlier.
Yes. It's
So
funny, though.
he asked her dad, as you should. You're supposed to ask the father of the bride. I know that the world has changed, and there's a
And
lot
see,
of
that's what we were trying to figure
traditionals.
out if Andrew had already asked.
Which I knew he had.
I didn't think he had asked already.
You knew all this.
But I didn't have dates.
You played dumb.
See, I
course, I
thought
was
he was
supposed
asking
to.
this week.
No.
And
See,
then
that's what
it
we
was
thought.
the proposal.
So he asked him, I'm going to ask you if I can ask Taylor to marry me. And he said, what did he say again, Taylor?
No takesies, backsies.
That's
no
fantastic.
takesy backsies.
Now,
and so
this is
Andrew
coming
tried
from a
to be
Florida State trooper.
exactly.
Yes.
Now he tried to be serious. Andrew did and spin it.
Right.
And then your dad said what again?
He said, no, seriously, no takesy, backsies.
You can't take her back. She's yours, brother.
That's my dad for
awesome.
you, though.
He is a Florida State trooper, but he also works for the University of Miami Sports.
Yes.
So a long history with that. And who did he play baseball with in high school?
He knows Barry Moncassi, who is the head cheerleading coach here.
There you go. Small world stuff.
6 degrees. That's awesome.
Isn't it awesome?
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, I figured it'd be great for a podcast.
Yeah.
Celebrate both of y'all today, so thank you.
And now you torture Taylor and make her come on the podcast.
Of course, she was, yeah. Like, you just got engaged. Come on now.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, don't worry about it. You got to follow William. I mean, he's going to be awesome.
Oh, for sure.
From Southern Exchange.
Congrats. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you so much.
Now go home to Andrew. I know he's waiting.
He's
And I know
probably
he's
still
watching.
at work.
He's still at work, yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, he's back at work now, so the hours are like
That's true.
23, 7. Not 24. He gets an hour off.
Oh, is that
They
how it
give him a
works?
break.
For lunch.
No, it's not always going to be that way, but it's okay. But they're doing great work over there for football,
there
so I'm
is.
excited. So tell Andrew to keep up the good work.
I will.
All right. See you tomorrow morning. Don't be late.
I won't. I promise.
And
Thank
you're not
you.
charging me for this hour either, okay? I'm just
Okay.
saying.
No, she's not charging you.
Yeah, exactly. What I meant.
We're going to get into a lot more Georgia Southern football as we go throughout this week's edition of Inside Eagle Nation. We're going to catch up with William Martin, the owner of Southern Exchange Company, a proud partner with Georgia Southern Athletics and a really, really good partner with Georgia Southern Athletics.
I got that
shirt.
from here. Yeah, this is one of my
There's no
favorite
doubt.
shirts.
I love that one.
I do. This is one of my
I
favorite.
think I told you about that, and then you stole it.
Yeah, I did, and I got a gray one too.
But we're going to talk to William Martin. He has been traveling. We talk about we travel a lot. William has been traveling a lot.
Yeah, I want to hear about this long trip that he took to get a special wood carving, if you will. I think it might have been done out of a. You've seen those people do with the chainsaws where they carve things.
Uh-huh.
I think it might have been done with that. I'm not sure. And then, but what I also want to ask him on is because last week was, actually just recently here the other day was would have been Coach Irk Russell's birthday.
Right.
And on William's wall, he hired somebody when he first got the facility to come in and paint a mural of Coach Russell that I absolutely love. And it is symbolic of Coach Russell because that shirt, he's standing there with his hands on his hips and those shorts, and I've seen that personally, and William, that was awesome, brother.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you weren't on the air. So.
Okay, good.
Hey, by the way, you didn't have a baby last week or
No, but
just checking. Did you know?
Wait, there's a butt coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
no, but you got his middle name from Terry,
Right.
Edward. You know what my middle name is?
Tell me it's Nathan.
No, Lacy.
No
I didn't
way.
know that.
No, we added an E when we split from your family.
Wow.
Why everybody adds the E.
Your middle name is Lacy.
Yeah,
I love it.
and that's my daughter's first name. But yeah, that's my middle name and my dad's middle name.
History
bad.
making day. We've learned all kind of things here. In case you ever
love
wanted to
middle
know.
names.
I do. Oh, yeah, I do. So I like the stories behind middle names.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
William Lacy Martin.
I like it.
Nathan
That's got a good
Edward
flow.
Lacy. Wow.
We're talking with William Martin, the owner of Southern Exchange Company, and there's a lot of different things we're going to cover over the next little bit. But one thing that I know you are huge on is really ingraining yourself in Eagle Nation, and you've been doing a lot of fun the last couple of weeks on social media of showing where the shop has come from to where it is now.
Right.
Of getting the pool table in that became the hat table. Then, like Terry was talking about, putting up the pictures of before, during, and after of the mural going up. Why was it so important when you guys got here to Statesboro to ingrain yourself so much in Eagle Nation?
Really, the biggest thing is when you come and you visit, and we talk to parents and people that visit all the time. The thing you realize is we have more tradition here than just about any school in the country. It doesn't matter the size of the school. We have more more passion and more tradition than most, and we have a very passionate, some might say insane, but I wouldn't, but some people would, fan base who are very proud of the school, first and foremost, the athletic accomplishments, and the people who came before and laid the groundwork. And so when we came in, that was the biggest thing we wanted to do was make that a focal point of everything we did.
All right, we've got to start with the trip across the country to get the wood carving of the eagle that is now in the store.
Yeah, Doc,
because coincidentally, and it was around the passing of Doc Spurgeon.
Yeah.
When it got back to Statesboro. And so take us through that story of how did you find the eagle? How did you get to the eagle? And then how in the world did you get that thing back?
I'll try and make this relatively brief.
Oh, we've got plenty of time. This
Okay,
is a
good.
podcast.
Yeah. Who's listening?
Whoever you want to.
So last year, 1 year ago, we took a trip to Fairbanks, Alaska, on a whim to go see a concert.
Okay, that's another story because you wake up, hey, honey, you want to go to a concert this weekend? Yeah, where? Well, I did notice that so and so's playing in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Could be Savannah, Alaska. Which one you want?
I don't know.
In August.
I've always wanted to
Fairbanks.
see.
Fairbanks.
Okay.
Who was the concert? Do you remember?
Foo Fighters.
Ooh,
Foo Fighters. You mean they don't play south of there anywhere?
Well,
anywhere closer.
Well, just had a tragedy this year.
Okay.
Probably not going to be playing a lot in the future.
So Fairbanks, Alaska was
Fairbanks,
worth the trip.
I told my wife, Christy, I want to go to Fairbanks to go see Foo Fighters. And she said, I'll go, but I'm not spending 2 days. We're going to spend a week. So we flew to Fairbanks, went and saw Foo Fighters. Part of our week, we visited a lot of different areas and spots and saw different things. And we found a 6-foot-tall eagle in an antique store that had been chainsawed by a carver from China on an exchange program. He was an ice carver who got stuck there because of COVID. He was on a visa and couldn't get back home. So he started carving wood with his chainsaw.
Wow.
So I negotiated with the antique store and said, I need to get this eagle back to Statesboro, Georgia from Fairbanks. How can I do this? And she researched it and told me how much it would cost to put it on a truck and get it to us. And I said, these people are passionate, but they're probably not going to get this eagle back from Fairbanks, Alaska. It was pretty costly to get it back. So came back home. In a former life, I spent 4 years in Wisconsin working and met a lot of really great artists and people up there. Really outdoor sort of area. And there was a young lady who worked for me as an artist where I worked. And I texted her, messaged her when we got back and sent her pictures and said, isn't this awesome? I want one for the store so bad I can't stand it. And she said, I've been interested in kind of experimenting and playing around with carving wood with chainsaws.
And she just so happened to have a chainsaw
and a block of wood.
This young lady works, I say young, she's younger than me, but she works full-time as an artist, but she lives with her husband on 40 acres. They raise all their own food and chickens. She has a studio that she paints and does sculptures and all kinds of stuff. Wow. It's very interesting. They built their own cabin that we stayed in while we stayed there. So she said, I want to start playing around with this. I'll carve something. If you don't like it, you don't have to get it. I said, if you carve it, I will drive the 20 hours from Statesboro to Ladysmith, Wisconsin, and pick it up.
If you carve it,
he will come.
Exactly. And
it's closer than Fairbanks.
We did.
correct?
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit. So she started sending me her progress on it. She cut down a 6.5 foot tall piece of basswood, drug it to her house, propped it up, and started carving. And I posted pictures as she was going through it, and it just was coming out amazing. So then she said, "Okay, it's done. What do you think?" I said, "Okay, well, let's work up a date and we'll drive up." So we took a 4-day weekend and spent 40 hours on the road driving and coming back and loaded up a 6.5 foot tall eagle in the back of the Chevy and made it back.
How much does this thing weigh?
300 pounds.
Oh.
Don't look at me when he said 300. I've been on a diet. I've lost a few pounds.
Speaking of which, had I known we would have been live, I would have worn something with vertical stripes.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of this table.
You so have been watching,
Right.
you know,
Right.
stripes versus up and down. That's why I didn't wear any.
I got you.
Yeah, that's why we're from the waist up. Now, Fairbanks,
Yeah.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
You remember I was just telling a story about the TV show that Howie Mandel
Yes.
called BS.
yes.
And if I didn't know you, I would sit here and wonder, is this
Anybody else?
just real or BS? That's a good story. I mean, Fairbanks, you go up there to see the Foo Fighters for a concert on a whim, stay for a week, happen to walk into an antique store. There's a 6 to 9 foot eagle that's been carved with a chainsaw from a guy from China who got stuck in Fairbanks because of COVID. And you just so happen to know somebody who's living off the grid in Wisconsin who always wanted to play with the chainsaw and had a big piece of tree in the backyard and said, you know what, why not?
Terry Harvin, how much do you like stories?
That's beautiful.
But
I love a
stories,
story.
We're in the storytelling business.
Exactly.
That's what we do every day.
Thank you.
That's
Hold
what
on.
we do at
Can
every
you
day.
can you say that again, please? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Say it.
We are in the storytelling business.
So for those of you who are looking for a great place for your brand, Georgia Southern Sports Properties would be that brand. Because of why, William?
We are in the business of telling stories.
And I would love to tell your story. Here you go.
By the way, Christy is confirming that Fairbanks is real.
Oh, I know it's real, but she's confirming the story's real.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I can guarantee you that if anybody's a liar in our family, it's not Christy Martin.
Well, you guys are also music buffs because you mentioned the concert, so I'm really not surprised because I do know them because one night, Lori and I are at an establishment in downtown Statesboro, just off the Blue Mile, and there's a concert going on at the Averett Center, and we found out about it. They're having a pre, and he just so happened to have a couple tickets on the front row. Next thing I know, we're on the front row of this concert having a really good time with them. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
So where is the Doc Eagle in the store now?
So his rightful place is on the right hand of Irk.
There you go.
So
have you had many fans come in and take selfies?
Yeah,
with
we've had a few people come in and check it out. So I can't wait for football season to get started and everybody be able to get in town and check it out. It's pretty cool.
We need to get the radio crew over there and take a selfie with the eagle.
Just need to make sure Frank knows he can't climb on it.
Yeah, no. Frank will probably try to autograph it or something.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see him lift his leg as high as the eagle because he can do that.
Yeah. He showed it at our wedding.
Yeah. That's another story.
We talked about the mural of Coach Russell and all the Georgia Southern lore on the wall. Was that something that you kind of gave the artist, this is exactly what I want, or is it, hey, I want something to do with Coach Russell, and he just kind of ran with it?
And where did the artist come from?
Sorry, it's an artist that's pretty well known.
Well, he's actually another person I worked with in Athens when we were there, and he did contract work. And one of his contract jobs that he would do is murals for CBS, and he would do. For several years, he would do the big backdrop murals for interviews with players they would do. So Gronkowski would be being interviewed, and he'd have a huge mural of himself or Patriots or whoever behind him. And that's one of the things. They would fly him to wherever the Super Bowl was. He would paint these murals, and then they would auction them off afterwards.
It's crazy.
Back in the early days of Southern Exchange, before we were anything, it was an empty building. One of the problems that we didn't know was a problem at the time was filling space. I look back at those old pictures and wonder, how did we survive? Because there's nothing in here. And at the time, we thought, it's pretty full. We got a lot of stuff. But one of the things that we did was I needed something to take up wall space. And what a perfect spot I want to do. And so I mocked it up for him. I said, I want to do a larger-than-life painting of Coach Russell, and I want to do freedom next to him on this wall. That's what I'm seeing. So he came down on a Saturday morning. We went and bought paint at Hobby Lobby, and he spent the night locked up in our store overnight, empty store, working and painting it all night long, and went back home the next day.
We're talking with William Martin from Southern Exchange, that great place right next to the legendary Dingus McGee's. And now that I'm older, I'm in Southern Exchange more than I am in Dingus McGee's, by the way.
I believe it.
But one of my favorite places. You talked about goods and items, and you're all in. You become that place the Georgia Southern fans like to go to, in particular because you're next to that legendary Dingus McGee's, where we all went to when we were in college there. Again, you've embraced the traditions, and what I enjoy about working with you is your flexibility. Coming up with an idea, brainstorming, we've called each other up, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? But then also your willingness to give back. So as a partner, we really appreciate that from an athletic standpoint. I know the coaches come in there, they bring recruits in there, other people go in there, players, and certainly the fans do. And you've also become quite known for your Christmas ornaments.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, one of my wife's favorites. Make sure I go by there and get some Christmas ornaments, though. So going through that process, finding out, like you said, you can feel like you have too much, but still doesn't seem to be enough. But you have everything in there. And one more thing I'll get to, and I'm going to let you answer it all. You got into TikTok. Okay, well, your employees have.
The employees have.
He's made an appearance at a couple.
They wrote me in. I'm a special guest every once in a while. Yeah.
TikTok. I love it.
Yeah. We kind of figured out we needed to do something on it and get a presence. And so one of the young ladies there at the store said, I'll do it. I'll take it on. And I said, good, because a guy of my vintage does not need to be making TikTok content. And she does, and they are ridiculous and silly and pretty fun. And she has a good time doing it. She gets people involved, and they have a good time. So it's been fun.
One of the things, and Terry talked about it a little bit, you've got so many different things, whether it's exactly what the team has on, whether it's a cool different idea that you've come up with, and you're open. I've been in there when somebody's like, hey, you need to get something like this, and you'll be there and almost help draw it out for them.
My own daughter, the trucker hats.
Right.
She wanted trucker hats. And then she said to me, they got trucker hats up there. I'm like, yeah, I know. Am I right? Remember, it was a baseball game. Hey, trucker hats. I'm bringing over pictures. Hey, this is what the sororities and the fraternities, especially the sororities, were wearing.
Well, one of the things that filled up the store over time is just listening to people. And when you get more than one or two people that start talking about something, you should listen and say, yeah, maybe I should do something about that.
Wait a minute. That's a novel idea.
Yeah.
What you're telling me is that as a business owner, that one of your strategies is to listen to your customer?
That's in general.
Whoa, stop it.
I know. It's
call Forbes up right now. We got to write a whole
I was about to say, you're hitting all the Terry Harvin school of business.
And you really are. This is beautiful here.
I tried ignoring him for a long time, and then I thought, you know what? Let's try something a little different.
I just like keep nipping at his heels, Hey. That's awesome.
All right, what is I'm going to ask you two things. What's the craziest thing that somebody has said you need to get, Georgia Southern-wise? And what is the thing that somebody suggested that you're like, I don't know if that's going to work, and ended up being a hit?
Make it family friendly.
Right, yeah.
Wow. Good question.
Because I'm sure people come in and just throw out the most absurd things.
No, I don't. I mean other people.
Yeah, others.
The hardest thing is we do get asked for a lot of things that I wish we could bring in, but for one reason or another, space being one. I just had a request actually today on a private message on our social media. Somebody had posted the GS logo with an additional couple of letters added to it. A get and a, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I thought, wow, that would do. He's like, this would do well. And I said,
it would.
Yeah, it would do terrific. I'm not sure we could get that approved. But anyway, so yeah, we get some stuff like that. And you get people that are very invested in their thought, their $1 million idea. And so there's some of that you go, okay.
CLC,
we'll take that under advisement. Yeah.
CLC, which is a Learfield company, has the rights or approves the logos and brands.
That's
and helps protect the brand. And William and many others, we're very fortunate here that the partners do protect the brand with us. So they get the brand out there at GS. I know that's important to Eagle Nation, and they do a good job with it. And then you also help us maybe go after some of those folks that aren't doing a good job by the brand.
Right.
Because we want on our end to fight for excellence and to be as strong or as winning, just as Coach Helton wants to on the team, on the field.
Sure.
And what Jared Benko expects and what Dr. Marrero expects, to be blunt. You know what Eagle Nation expects? They expect us to operate at a high level. You do so, and I appreciate that. Now, you talk about listening to the customer. Mm-hmm. Can we take this into sports?
Sure.
You're also one of those places, kind of like the barber shop and the bar, where people come hang out and they talk about it. Snookies used to be this way. So what are you hearing about the football season?
Yeah.
What are you hearing?
Yeah.
What is some of the good stuff?
That happens a lot.
So tell us.
Oh, what am I hearing?
Yeah, tell us. Come on. It's just us girls here. We won't tell anyone. What are you hearing out there? What do you think about the team?
You know, I think from my read on what people come in and talk about, there's a lot of excitement. I do not hear much negativity or, the polls are all coming out right now, and ranking anybody before the season even
rank
starts
us last.
is I do too. I do too.
Keep us last.
And I think most people have that, have that opinion, and I think most people are really excited about what's going on from everything I'm getting from the trenches, from the retail trenches.
And that's what I love, because you're so invested not only in the business's success, but also Georgia Southern's success. And that's what we talk about a lot. A lot of times in like the multimedia rights side, it can get away from a partnership and more of a transactional thing. But the thing that you stress a lot, and the thing that I know you stress a lot, is that this is a partnership.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just he's on paper a partner with Georgia Southern Athletics, and then it's, okay, this is what you get in a contract. But it's things as simple as, like earlier today, whenever the 40th anniversary logo came out, it was just a couple hours later, I saw on y'all's social media that you were getting cups and stuff ready with the stickers and the decals.
Right.
It's something like that. That's what makes a partnership work, both from the Georgia Southern Sports Property side, but also the Southern Exchange side.
Well, Eagle Nation's been good about that. I mean, meaning that fans and graduates of Georgia Southern have always done a good job of networking.
Yeah. That's right.
Both of us are very strong in that. We like networking.
That's right.
And that's very consistent with Georgia Southern. You'll see we all get calls, and a Georgia Southern person will call another Georgia Southern person saying, hey, I'm looking for this position. Do you know anybody? And they go, hey, actually, we do. Back on the word partnership, a lot of people use that term, meaning that, hey, William, I just need you to give me money, but I'm going to use the word partnership because it's the cool thing to use.
Yeah. Right.
It's kind of like transparency, right? But we actually mean it. And one example is William has called me before and said, hey, Terry, this person came in and owns this business, and I think you need to talk to them. William's been in the market for something and called me the other day and said, hey, Terry, I'm in the market for this. Am I allowed to say what?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
He said, hey,
you're going to help a partner, right?
Exactly. He said, hey, Terry, I'm in the market to buy a golf cart. is Statesboro Golf Carts a partner? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll give you Josh's name. Let me hook you up with Josh Thompson. Hook those two up, and I guess you're making progress now. And I was able to tell him because I love my golf cart. And we drive it all the time. I've got it decked out. I bought more stickers from you to put on the golf cart. And, we ride all over the place with it and love it. So I was telling about what my experience is like dealing with them, and you need to call them and X, Y, Z. And he's done so. So that's the fun part about what we do. Now, can we shift gears for just a minute?
Sure.
I want to shift it back to you.
Okay.
William, you said you have children.
Yeah, I do. I don't think I said that here, right?
No, you did say
is that for public consumption?
Yeah, as you mentioned.
Yeah, just two.
Just two. Yeah, two. How old are they?
Now you're gonna throw me.
Okay.
I'm gonna no. 25 and 23.
All right, and I have 3. Young Colin here now has 1.
How old are yours?
Madeline is 24. Sarah's 22 now, and then G-Bug Jillian is going to be 19.
Okay.
So she's in year 2 at Southern. Sarah finished University of Georgia, works in Hilton Head, got a job. Yay! And then Madeline finished her master's, and she got a job. Yay! And but both of us fathers for many years.
Yeah, right.
It's been a roller coaster ride.
Sure. No, mine's been smooth as glass.
Oh yeah, sure.
No ups
smooth
and
as your
downs at
head,
all.
right?
That's right. Exactly. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have young daddy here. Colin,
yeah, sure.
Young daddy. What kind of advice?
Are we turning into Dr. Harvin?
We are. What kind of advice can we give him, and how do we steer Nathan to be an Eagle?
We already told him. One of the most important things is singing, of course.
Of course,
and get him into music really early. It's a growth thing.
It is
music. I mean,
sounds good.
Or sure. Look what it did for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Strangely enough, tie Nathan into Southern Exchange. How we told my parents, who are both Georgia Southern grads, that we were expecting Nathan, I guess 9 months ago now, or ish. We went up to Atlanta for family pictures, and we took a little Georgia Southern onesie from Southern Exchange.
There you go. I love it.
Tie it all together.
You tied it all together. And I used to sing to Madeline, by the way, and Sarah and Jillian. They all ended up in chorus. Madeline got a degree from here in music.
Did you sing Foo Fighters?
No, I didn't. It was a lot of Elvis and Harry Connick and whatever.
We're all about culture in our house.
Right.
Yeah. No, I had Barney and Teletubbies. So other than that,
The Wiggles.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But as a dad though, for a young child, and I know Eagle Nation can weigh in as well. So congratulate Colin for all of us as well. And you got some good parenting suggestions for Colin as a dad that needs to stay awake so that Rachel can have some sleep. We can give him some tips on staying up late at night.
That's the one thing you'll learn is everyone has tips about parenting and how to do it the best.
Oh, yes, for sure. And they all contradict each other.
Well, yeah. Yeah, what people don't tell you is every one of those little people are completely different.
Yeah, they are. My 3 girls are totally different. You're right.
Yeah. Ours too, and you just have to roll with it.
Yeah. It's taken me this many years to realize the magical words to my wife of "yes, dear," and also, "what do you think?"
Exactly.
Where would you like to go?
That's right.
But
that's what I do when people make these suggestions at the store. That's what I do. Is I go home and go, "What do you think?"
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
William, really appreciate you joining us. Appreciate everything that you do as a partner for Georgia Southern Athletics and Southern Exchange. If you haven't been there, you're missing out, no doubt. Anytime you're in Statesboro, make sure to stop by Southern Exchange. Follow them on social media. You will be entertained. There is no doubt.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Come see you soon. We'll take a selfie. I'll see if I can get old my buddy Jim Ratcliffe up there because he's an old marketing guy from Georgia Southern. And he lives here in Statesboro now. He was the marketing department, by the way. Now we've got, there's 5 of us in our office. Dan Adams, I don't know how many he's got over there. But back when Georgia Southern started football, Jim was the marketing department. The guy. So I'll get him to come by. And if he signs off on it, you're okay.
You're good to go? Okay.
You're good to go.
Good. Glad to hear it.
William, appreciate the time, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Later, brother.
Once again, that's William Martin from the Southern Exchange Company just across from campus. We talk about it a lot, true partners with Georgia Southern Athletics and a huge, huge asset to this place.
And like everybody can attest that come down to Statesboro and Georgia Southern, you become close. It's more than just partnership. You become friends. And so we'll see them out, and we enjoy that. And, again, the concert was awesome hanging with them. Like I said, got to see every side to them, and the guy works. I mean, he busts his butt. Now, there's no doubt about it. But we're very fortunate in that aspect to have so many good partners. And I got to tell you, we touched on football a little bit. I am extremely excited about the upcoming football season. We have the women's football clinic is coming up on Friday. My wife signed up for it. I know a lot of folks are. I imagine Daryl Lynn will probably be there. Right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, she's there, and she'll beat them all.
Yeah.
Which she better. Right, because I'll tease Danny if she doesn't.
Right,
and Danny's in New Orleans, and he usually comes back, and I think does something with it, MCs it or something. Yeah, I think Taylor will be there to help out as well. So that's an exciting event. There'll be 100 and something folks there. Yeah, 100 and something ladies there, and appreciate all our great partners there, and they're going to have a good time there. And then right around the corner, it's camp starts. You got volleyball camps been going on during the summer, basketball camps, baseball, soccer. I get to see Coach Murph over here all the time and harass Murph a lot, and Chad, and with volleyball. And then all across campus, you're starting to feel it. There's some excitement. So to William's point, I hope they continue to pick us last in the polls. I really do.
As a matter of fact, as we dive into the news and notes portion of this podcast, the polls came out earlier on today with Sunbelt Conference Media Days, again Tuesday and Wednesday down in New Orleans. We'll have coverage on the Georgia Southern Sports Network Facebook page all throughout the day. I think it starts about 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And so the polls came out today. Georgia Southern picked 5th in the Eastern Division with 35 points. Did have one vote for the top spot in the Eastern Division. App State was number 1. Coastal in 2nd place. Georgia State in 3rd. Marshall 4. Georgia Southern 5. JMU 6. ODU at 7.
I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, JMU, I think, is going to I know they just transitioned up, but that is they have the resources, they have the facilities. Old Dominion, I don't know yet. I know when Heineke was there at quarterback, that was an amazing place to go for a ball game.
Is that where you dropped a pin and a tuba?
Oh, no, that was South Dakota State. That's
right.
That's a story for an adult beverage somewhere. But Old Dominion was a back and forth ball game where the best defense was the offense. So it was whoever had the ball last won the game. And that's kind of what happened there. Tyler Heineke, who's at Washington, what are their names?
Commanders.
Okay, he's all that and then some. He was legit, just amazing player to watch. But Old Dominion's a historic area, great travel game too, by the way. Yeah. So that's a fun game to go to. JMU will be a pretty good one. Marshall coming here, of course, but I don't know if I agree with it. But how about Georgia State getting the love for 3rd in the Eastern Division?
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised how the top shook out in the Eastern Division. I mean, the West Division, there's not a whole lot of surprise. Louisiana's number 1, 12 out of the 14 picked them to win the West. South Alabama right behind them, Troy at 3, Texas State 4, Southern Miss 5, Arkansas State 6, ULM 7. I was more surprised at the top of the Eastern Division because I thought Coastal Carolina, and I know they lost a good bit from last year.
They did.
But you've still got Grayson McCall, who ended up being the preseason Offensive Player of the Year. Josiah Stewart, the preseason Defensive Player of the Year. When you've got both the preseason Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year in the Sun Belt Conference, I mean, they're number 2. 2 teams had them picked to win it, but they're still 77 points to App State's 94 in the standings. Kind of surprised how well that worked out.
I ate some Georgia peanuts before I came in.
There
by
you
the
go.
Way. We got like 6,000 bags from the Georgia Peanut Commission,
and I love it.
And I do too. I mean, a lot of peanuts, and I appreciate our agriculture partners there in Georgia Peanut Commission. You see how I did that?
I did.
I worked them right on in there. Anyway, I'm a little surprised, not by Coastal and App State. Flip them, either one.
Yeah.
Georgia State, it just depends with them. They got a rough start themselves, but they always seem to kind of get it together. Then we'll see which way they go. I still say keep your eye on JMU.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on those Eagles as well. I kind of wish they had picked a 6th or 7th versus 5th. I like having that little bit of a chip there, especially with these guys coming back. And understandably so. You've reinvented the offense, or not reinvented, you've turned it upside down. On the West, UL's lost a lot of players.
Yeah, and coaching staff.
So it'll be interesting to see that quarterback, that Levi, he was there for like 22 years, I think, right?
Something like that.
So he's been there forever. Watch the 2 teams I tell you to watch on the East. Now, South Alabama was legit last year.
Yeah.
legit. They lost those receivers, though. Really good one. But coaching-wise, they really called and schemed a good game. And when it really comes down to those matchups, the key word is matchups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you may have a team come in with this record and this with this, but how do you match up against each other?
Yeah.
Because those good coaches are going to get those matchups they want, right? They may have that all-conference receiver over here, but they love the matchup over here, or they like the run game matchup, the toss sweeps, or whatever it is. I think South Alabama does a good job there, but the two teams to watch to me on the West is Texas State, and don't count out Arkansas State. I know they've had some issues, but don't count them out. So Texas State, I keep waiting for them to turn the corner because just like Coastal Carolina, they're in a hotbed recruiting area. Texas State has a lot of money, a beautiful campus, huge campus, great facilities. Their students haven't bought in yet. They just stay out in the parking lot and party the whole time. But you're talking about Texas, and there's a lot of recruits out there. Just watch Texas, and they did a really good job of transfer portal last year and this year. So them and Arkansas State, I'm telling you to keep an eye on.
We've talked about it a lot with Texas State. They have pretty much overhauled the team for almost a second time now.
And Ark State did it too.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how the West plays out. I still think South Alabama can rival for the top spot in the West, and there's going to be a lot of people that are not happy with me about that. But.
No, I don't argue with you on that one at all. Certainly what they did last year. Troy is still up. I know Troy's had our number, but I don't not bought in yet. Okay, no. I just not. Great facilities over there. We know Brent Jones well, the AD. Used to be here at Georgia Southern. So it's Peanuts again.
Yeah.
From the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Right.
Great partners, by the way. Support your farmers. Anyway, so, but I think I like Texas State and Arkansas State for the supplies over there. Of course, I'm an Eagle on the East, but don't count out James Madison.
Yeah.
And to your point about Coastal, yes, they have the quarterback. They got the defensive player. They lost a lot of that offensive line that not only were very talented, very well coached, and I mean this not in a negative way. They were mean.
Yeah.
They were a mean offensive line. I mean, they owned the trenches there. And that's what you want, that offensive line. They protect the quarterback, but they did a good job with it. He knew he could roll out, he could run, he could throw the ball. He had the offensive line there. He lost a good bit of them. So it'll be see how they recover from that.
The preseason All Sunbelt Conference teams also came out earlier on today ahead of Sunbelt Conference Media Day in New Orleans. We mentioned earlier Grayson McCall from Coastal, the Offensive Player of the Year in the preseason. Josiah Stewart from Coastal, the Defensive Lineman, the Defensive Player of the Year, rather, in the Sunbelt. Nobody from Georgia Southern on the first team. Did have 4 representatives on the second team.
Good.
All of them coming from the defense and special teams. So Sunbelt Conference only picks preseason first and second team. Some leagues do third, and we can get into that later. But nobody on the first 2 teams on the offense, which I think is going to be a huge shock when we get to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Especially at quarterback. Quarterback, I think, is what is going to absolutely stun a lot of people in this conference. Everybody knows Grayson McCall. Well, I say everybody. Georgia Southern still hasn't seen him yet. But Chase Bryce from Appalachian State, the Clemson transfer, the Duke transfer, also coming in as the second team all-conference. But watch out for a fellow that we're going to hear about from Sunbelt Conference Media Day, Kyle Van Treese, coming in from Buffalo to Georgia Southern. The 4 representatives Georgia Southern did have: Justin Ellis on the defensive line, Derek Canteen as a DB. He is going to have a huge year. I think you and I have talked about that a lot. Your boy Anthony Beck as the punter on the second team, and then Amari Jones in the all-purpose category for Georgia Southern, a second-team selection as well. Any shock surprises? I was surprised not to see a Dylan Springer on this list.
I was definitely surprised him. And then also, running back
Yeah.
I know we recently lost J.D. King, who's time to hang it up, I guess, hang up the cleats. That was his decision. But we have a full running back room. And those guys, I'm looking at Jalen White, I'm looking at Green in particular, a 1-2 punch. Jalen White's got the body already of an NFL running back.
Yeah.
He's got the height. He's got the build. He's got the speed. He could be that breakout year for him. It would be amazing. Now, Gerald Green, Green just runs.
Yeah.
He is a little cannonball, if you will, but he also has the speed, so he can run with power through the line, but he can outrun you.
Yeah.
That Jalen White, he is something to watch, and I've been waiting for him, and he was one of the top running backs to come out of the state of Alabama, and he's been in the shadows of some great running backs, and this is his time. He gets to step up, so I'd watch him, but it all comes down to that offensive line, the Hogs. A lot of these guys coming back at least have the playing time, right? So they've got the reps. They're buying into the system here. The difference is when you talk about McCall and Bryce, the kid from App State,
Yep.
McCall can run. He'll beat you with his legs.
Yeah.
So if you stop him from running, he can throw. He's got a good arm, but he's also very strong between the ears, very intelligent, but he's got the grit too. He's got the I'm going to fight for that 1 more yard or 2 more yards or whatever it is, and he's a good game manager. He understands the game really, really well.
Yeah.
So he's watching he's going back to the key word I used earlier, matchups. He understands matchups, so he's going to get up there. He's got a great relationship with the coach, so they jihad well. They jive. They get it. So they're thinking. Yeah, I'm using whatever word I can. Okay. You know what I mean out there. Daryl Lynn's listening. You know what I mean there. So they jihad. They get it. So they know what the other's thinking. And for a coach to have a quarterback, he's got basically another coach on the field.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can't count McCall out. But Van Treese, he's got experience. And I watched him in practice, and extremely impressive kid back there again. Very strong arm, very strong between the ears. He understands the game of football. They're on the same page with Ellis and Coach Eldon. They get it. And the receivers, wow.
Yeah.
The kid from Houston that came in, brain lapse. He's wearing jersey number 1. And then I'm just excited about our receivers. I can't help it. Now, I do have question marks on defense. I want to see what DBs outside of Canteen. Canteen needs to have a good year. Coming off of injury, sitting down. Yeah, I expect him to. He's worked out strong in the offseason. He's done a good job in the film room. I have questions for safety position. I have questions at our linebacker position. And we need, and I don't know what our depth is on defensive line yet. So when we get out to practice, we'll get to see a lot of that. Offensive line, obviously, we need more depth, but I like the reps that these guys have coming in. Not worried about the running back position. I'm not worried about the wide receiver position. And then I want to see what quarterbacks are going to step up behind Van Treese. Is it going to be Dallas? Is it going to be the kid transferred in from Boise? Who's it going to be? You got a kid that's in from a couple signees out of Atlanta. So it'll be interesting to see who the number 2 and 3 quarterbacks are. Those, to me, are your real question marks.
You talked about Gerald Green and Jalen White. Last week, they were also named to the Doak Walker Award watch list. Easy for me to say. But this is going to be an offense that I think surprises a lot of people. This is going to be one of the bigger turnarounds, I think, offensively, that you're going to see in a good while.
Going back to the phrase, I guess it's the phrase of the podcast, is matchups to me. So the ability to run the ball like that and having a quarterback and receivers where you can throw the ball, now it is about matchups, right? So you're playing against a team that does a really great job of shutting down the run. Well, you got to stop me in the air. So if you start stopping me in the air, that means you loosened up your run game or your run defense, and I'm going to pick you there. So if we can get really good at those two things, and then special teams could make the difference for us. You mentioned about Beck, and it'll be interesting. I'm looking for another competition right now. We're wondering who the number 2 and 3 quarterbacks are going to be, right? That's, to me, a huge competition for this team. I'm looking for a third one. Let's see what's the competition of field goal kicker.
Yeah.
That is going to be interesting because you got Britton. Of course, you got Alex, right? But now a wild card's been thrown in. You got a transfer from Minnesota who's from Atlanta, who, by the way, his first year kicking in Minnesota was against us, and I think we blocked his kick.
Yes.
He had an injury.
I think you called for that, actually.
I think I got lucky on that one. He had an injury. He sat out last year, and now he's back. And all reports say he's got a very strong leg, a lot of composure back there. So it's going to be an interesting fight at kicker, field goal. Between, I think, we have some other really good field goal kickers too now. So I'm not dismissing them, but I have to think the top 3 there are going to be Britton and Alex and the Minnesota. So we'll see what happens there. And then Minnesota can also punt, by the way. And then Beck, who's done we know what Beck is, right? His misses. The thing about Beck at punter, when he misses the punt, it goes further than any of my good punts. It just goes a mile.
Did you ever try field goal kicking?
No, God, it was hard enough for me to punt, much less kick a field goal. It's you know what field goal kicking was like my golf game. When I get up on the driving to get ready to drive, my drives are like Scud missiles. If you remember back in the Iraq War, there you had a Scud missile where they knew where they were shooting them from. They just didn't know where it was going to go. That's what my drive's like. When I came to kicking field goals, same concept.
Gotcha.
You know, I'd been better off with Lucy just pulling the ball out of the way and let me bust my butt. That would have been the best way of doing it, right? Put it on video. TikTok was around back then. I would be viral. It would be awesome. Some people say I'm viral anyway. But anyway, I think Beck, so behind Beck you got Brad Walker.
Yeah.
Walker's the kid out of Athens who had a really good spring, I think. But again, so special teams, that's going to be a good competition right there.
Couple other news notes coming out in the last week. Kick times were announced for the home games. Morgan State, a 6 p.m. kick. Ball State, a 6 p.m. kick. James Madison and South Alabama, both 4 o'clock kickoffs. And then Marshall, App State to round out the regular season, both 6 o'clock kickoffs at Allen E. Paulson Stadium. So
just like last year.
Yep.
6-6, 4-4, 6-6.
Yep.
So I got to remember, there's 6 games. 6-6, 4-4, 6-6. The last one's App State, blew out. Then you've got Agriculture Day, Celebrate Ag Day, right? You're going to have, Family Day thrown in there, Cure Day. And homecoming is going to be when? September? Ball State,
yes,
I think.
I believe it's Ball State.
Yeah.
Also had 2 games announced to the future schedule. Middle Tennessee coming in.
The Blue Raiders.
That's a program that has been sneaky, historically good over the last years, but we will get to see. You're a big fan.
Murfreesboro.
Going to be playing at Paulson Stadium in 2031, 2032. Get to make the trip up to Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Legendary coach back when we played there, his name was, do you remember it all? You're too young.
I've heard Roger talk about him.
He was the only coach I ever knew that had a song named after him, except for Coach Russell. Somebody did make one after him, and they would play it during pregame. He had a great first name.
Boots Donley?
Bingo.
That's right.
Boots Donley was his name, and he was the coach of the Blue Raiders. And in fact, that's the only game up in Murfreesboro in Middle Tennessee State where I had one pass. I am 1,000%. Oh, yeah. I'm 1 for 1 in passing. The snap came back on a little bit of bounce, and normally I pride myself in getting them down.
Right.
I couldn't get it down. So I had to roll out, yelled, fire, 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 because that's what you yelled. And I can't remember. I think it was Darren that rolled out the tight end. He was one. And it was 4th and 1. And this big dude hit me. And I just ducked, screamed for my mother, right? So I rolled out, had the ball. This mammoth of a tree individual comes over there like, I'm going to eat you. And I just kind of duck my head and stay on my feet. He pretty much falls over me. I'm surprised. I stained my pants, both sides, and I keep rolling out. And I see him, and I 1 yard pass, threw it. And he caught it for 1 yard. I'm thinking we got the first down. No, we didn't. 1 yard pass, 1 for 1, 4th and 1, but somehow we didn't get the first down.
So you're 1 for 1 in your career, 1 yard, no first downs.
No first down, but ruined my pants. But and then we went on to beat Middle Tennessee State later on too, by the way. But anyway, that was my Middle Tennessee State story for Blue Raiders. There you go.
Couple other news notes. Hayden Harris from Georgia Southern Baseball, after the 2022 Major League Baseball draft, signed a free agent contract with the Atlanta Braves. Congratulations, Harris was really good down the stretch for Georgia Southern Baseball, kind of floating between the bullpen, starting role, had a lot of really big outs for Georgia Southern down the stretch. And then before we wrap this one up, a record year coming out for Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation. Eric Reisner and the staff over there doing a great job again.
Wait a minute, we're quitting?
What?
Are we quitting? You said before we wrap it up. Are we done?
I just said before we wrap it up. I didn't say we're going to do it in the next minute.
Oh, okay. So we can keep talking for a while. It's a podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have to go to commercial break.
Bingo.
Okay, cool.
I'm not yelling at you to go to break.
There you go. Give me that look in my ear. Go to break, go to break. And I can't say what I say back to him. So, yeah, Eric Reisner and them, they killed it, didn't they?
$10.6 million raised this past athletic year, a 68% increase from the record set last year. Over 2,400 Irk Russell Fund donors, 31% increase from the previous record. Still trying to get to that sort of 6,000 members of the Irk Russell Fund, but there's so many different numbers. You can go to gseagles.com to look at all the records and the numbers that were set this year, but a huge support for this Georgia Southern Athletic Department and the Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation.
Greatly needed. You talk about soaring to new heights in all aspects in athletics. It's a no-duh to say finances help.
Yeah.
we need your butts in the seats, right? We need you at the game. We need you supporting. We need you to go to our great partners like Southern Exchange and elsewhere in supporting them. But we need your financial resources if you're able. And more of Eagle Nation that have never been involved in the past are stepping up. And it doesn't have to be, $2 million and $100,000 or whatever. It can be $5 a month.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, because it all makes a difference. Now, I do want to go back something you were talking about Hayden Harris. The year prior with COVID, with the draft, really screwed up a lot of baseball kids. Yes. Some chose to wrap up their career when they thought they might go into the draft. There was a very reduced draft. A lot of kids didn't get picked up or didn't sign any contracts. Minor league programs suffered greatly and all. But one positive that came out of it is people were given another year of eligibility, and we saw them come back, and we saw the benefit of Georgia Southern this year because pitching was the concern. But pitching stepped up, I thought, pretty good this year. And thankfully we had a lot of 6 years there with the bats.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of that plays out, and there's a lot of discussion going on at the national level of what college baseball looks like as far as transfer portal and roster sizes and all of that over the next
You had to use that profanity, transfer portal.
College baseball, you have to right now. But huge congratulations to Hayden Harris. You want to talk about somebody that's put in the work to be what he is today. Huge congratulations to Double H.
Now, we've taken advantage of the transfer portal well.
Yeah.
I thought Coach Hennon did a good job of, and really all the coaches that are able to reach into the transfer portal are not just looking for the bodies, they're looking for the right fit. And that's what Coach Hennon did.
You look at a guy like a Jesse Sherrill, played second base for Georgia Southern. Before the transfer portal and all the retooling of what the transfer portal looks like, he doesn't play last year for Georgia Southern.
No.
And so who plays second base?
Correct. And he wasn't, in his mind, maybe wasn't the best fit where he was.
Right. And they had coaching changes. There was a lot of factors that played into it. Come down to Statesboro. He knew the history. He knew the tradition. He had been to Statesboro, had played against Georgia Southern. Abracadabra. He's an all-conference player for Georgia Southern.
And he fit.
Yeah.
He fit into the program. He fit in the locker room. And that was the key part there. He fit in the locker room and became one of the leaders, and he's going to continue to.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, also you got programs like Georgia Southern, Mercer, which is historically pretty strong every year, right, that are unfortunately facing where they're losing their kids.
Yeah.
We went out to Mississippi State a little while back, and I'm in the locker room, and I'm seeing names on the Mississippi State locker room of kids that played for Mercer just the season prior.
Yep.
They went in the portal. Mississippi State picks them up. We all know what happened at that place up in Knoxville where they grabbed our pitcher, right, and took him up there. I didn't say the name just for your benefit.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, but you're seeing the P5s, the strong P5s, take advantage of some historical good programs like Georgia Southern, and I say Mercer and others, and they're robbing the kids. They're taking them and getting them up there. And football scares me every year. I hope the NCAA figures out a way to deal with the transfer portal, at least limit it. If I have to give the editorial side of me, put some restraints. I mean, NFL's not free agents 12 months a year.
Yeah.
I mean, nor should the transfer portal be either. Coaches have to coach without fear of losing their kids every time they turn around, and the kids should have to suck it up a little bit and get through it. That's what makes you better. You lose your starting position. Well, you lost it. It's not because some coach just took it away from you.
Yeah.
The other kid beat you out. So do what you got to do to find another position or beat them back out or be ready to play versus throwing in your hat and go to another school. But that's the way it is. Free agency across college. I just hope they come in with some parameters to say, here's their timeline. Here's your window to transfer, the transfer portal window, and here's how many times you can do it, or you got to sit out. I didn't mind the sit-out rule. I did have heartburn on the sit-out rule when it came to a player who just lost all their coaches.
Right.
I think there ought to be some forgiveness there and to say, okay, hey, that coach left. I know I came for the school. I love the university, but I really came for the system that coach brought in. And I think there's some concessions that need to be made for them. But the transfer portal, no doubt, has to be the biggest heartburn of any coach. And you could say it's NIL because that's still crazy. You don't know how it's going to work, and they're paying for players, which, heck, they always paid for players if you think about it. They just did. You got a college degree out of the deal. You got extra money for school and tutoring and equipment, and, they wrapped it up. You get cost of attendance. You get the difference of money there. So it's not like the kids weren't getting money. They did. They got the difference between cost of attendance and what it actually cost, right? They got a college degree, but now it's Wild Wild West and no more Mr. Bagman anymore. No more McDonald's bags or the Oyster Man or anybody else. All these programs, the guy that cut hair at Alabama, it doesn't matter anymore. They're out of play because it's just a fair game. And they could command a certain amount of dollars.
I think you're going to see whether the NCAA puts restrictions on it or not, and Lord knows what the NCAA is going to look like in the next couple of years, but I think you're going to see it kind of take care of itself because now it's the cool thing. You got to hit the transfer portal. You got to go to the next big-time Alabama. You got to go to the next big-time place. Well, I think the last time I saw 4,000 names in the transfer portal, ain't that many spots.
No.
So there's going to be people that are left out in the rain, and they're going to be like, wait a minute. I just left a pretty good program.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have me back because I don't think they should. But now I got nowhere to go. So I'm going to have to go to a D2 or a JUCO and try to work your way back up.
Losing my scholarship, losing my education.
Bingo.
There. You mentioned Alabama. Look what Nick Saban's done for years.
Yeah.
You go there to play, you got a legitimate chance in the NFL if you make the team. A legitimate chance. And that's really what it comes down to. And you're getting a good education, too.
Yeah.
And you're getting coached by probably the greatest coach out there.
Yeah.
Outside of Eric Russell. Sorry, guys. Not going to do that. And hopefully Coach Eric Russell gets into the College Football Hall of Fame. I know there's a big push for that, not meaning to detour, so I'll bring it right back. But going back, transfer portal, NIL, that's your biggest challenges there, and collectives.
Yeah.
Collectives, we haven't seen the P5 or the G5 level yet. There's been a few schools that's tinkered with it. That's going to be these P5 schools, the Floridas, the Texas A&Ms, the Georgias. Yeah, they get all this money from the collectives, these outside groups that form together and get this money so they can pay these players. They still got to get the rights. Well, where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
Are you not just taking from the same – because a lot of these people are donors, right? So you're taking money from one pot, moving it to another. It's crazy. So if we have any resemblance of college football the way we knew it, I hope they figure out a way – and I'm not saying – I'm not one of those that say we can't change. So this is the way we've always done it. Oh, my God. At the roundabout way, I kind of blame the coaches. If you think about it, all these coaches getting these big-time contracts and these players not getting any money, and some of them coming from the lower end of the social economic ladder, if you will, struggling to make bills or even to get home, NCAA restricting certain things on money. But, yeah, here's the coach getting all these millions of dollars in these shoe deals, and I think it's finally come to roost. But they said, we want our cut too, right? Basketball was notorious for it. So I just hope that the NCAA or the powers that be figure out a way to put some restrictions or some gates or some guardrails, however you want. Not keep the players from making money legitimately, but maybe, like at a bowling alley.
Mm-hmm. Got the bumpers.
Yeah, me and you need them, right?
Right.
People like William that was here, he could probably throw strikes, but we need the bumper rails. I think that the transfer portal and the NIL needs some bumper rails just to say, okay, we're going to keep these here, and as we get better and learn, we'll start to take them off a little bit. But that's my Andy Rooney moment. You ever wondered why? That's it for me.
I enjoy getting you fired up.
I do. That's a touch point for me on that one because because it is truly you could say it's all about money, and the college sports is a business. On one hand, you say yes, that's absolutely correct. On the other hand, you say no, it's not, because if that were true, college sports would only have two sports: football and basketball.
Correct.
There would be no women's soccer, no rifle team, no volleyball, no women's basketball. Wouldn't be baseball. Sorry, it's still not profitable. No women's softball, no cross country, no track. Out. There wouldn't be this because those lose money. Most college programs lose money.
Yeah.
The only ones making money is the football and basketball, and that's if you make the tournament. That's big-time money. So you can't say it's 100% a business because football and basketball is basically supporting all those other sports, and thank God they are, because I love softball. To me, it's one of the greatest sports.
Yeah.
I love watching, so I love seeing what Coach Perkins is doing. I love the enthusiasm of Chad and softball. Izzy worked for us this summer, cross-country runner. I like watching soccer. I didn't used to, but now I actually enjoy it. You got swim team. I enjoy all those sports. I don't want them to go away. So I'm thankful that football and basketball, I'm thankful for those fans that's supporting those because they're also supporting all the other sports, which is why going to come in full circle back, Colin, which is why the Eagle Fund is so important.
Yeah.
It helps out all sports. So
I like it.
I get fired up.
I know.
Man.
I
want one of those shirts that William's going to print. Get after their assets.
You need that shirt.
I do.
Because you've been saying that for years.
Yeah, I know.
Again, we'll wrap up this week's edition of Inside Eagle Nation tomorrow and Wednesday. Sunbelt Conference Media Day down in New Orleans. The East on Tuesday, the West on Wednesday. We'll have coverage on the Georgia Southern Sports Network Facebook Live. Danny will be going live at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Interviews will start with 10. Going to be talking to each of the East Division head coaches. Also Coach Helton, Kyle Van Treese, Dylan Springer, and Commissioner Keith Gill.
He's having a good time down there.
I'd imagine.
Man, I miss it.
I'd imagine.
We ate well when we went there.
There's no Fey Dodo this year.
Really?
Which was normally the get-together the night before, but apparently no Fey Dodo.
No, I like the turtle soup down there myself.
What's your Louisiana go-to?
Food or beer?
Food.
I like
there
turtle.
Was something when we went to
alligator.
Monroe.
I like alligator tail frog legs. I like
meat pie.
Turtle. Oh, the meat pie. Well, two types of meat pies. Depends on what part of Louisiana. See, he got me off on a tangent for a reason because there are two different type of meat pies in Louisiana. Depends on where you go.
Right.
Also, boudin balls. Boudin balls. Oh man, boudin balls are good. So, but I like gator tail. I like the frog legs. I like turtle soup with a little bit of sherry in it. It's just right. And then I can't eat shellfish, so I can't eat shrimp and grits. Mm-hmm. So what I do instead of shrimp and grits is I'll get the fish and replace the shrimp with fish, and they'll use the same brown gravy in the grits and do it for me that way.
Huh.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
So fish and grits.
Yeah, well, it's fish and grits, but it's good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it's great. Chef Paul's restaurants down there. Of course, Emerald has got many restaurants, but you go off the beaten path, you can really get some good food.
Sounds like
balls,
a plan.
meat pies, all that good stuff.
Again, we'll have your coverage on Georgia Southern Sports Network Facebook Live from Sunbelt Conference Media Day. The conference will have the ESPN Plus stream going both days as they talk to everybody and anybody down in New Orleans. But appreciate you joining us.
You gonna let me back?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, the last time you were here, you tried to break news, but...
Well, I did. I told everybody y'all were pregnant before you told anybody you were pregnant. Congratulations on that note. Congratulations again to our newest Eagle, Nathan King Edward Lacy, named after me, middle name, and Lacy after William Martin's middle name.
Right.
And Nathan Edward Lacy, welcome to Eagle Nation. And then congratulations to Taylor Brown and Andrew Bevel for getting engaged this week.
We've got to get used to Taylor Bevel.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
TB, it's Taylor Brown, same thing, so that's good.
Yeah, just call her TB.
But I call her Downtown Taylor Brown all the time, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Downtown Taylor Bevel?
I don't know.
Doesn't quite
that's what I told Andrew. I've known Andrew since he was a little punk.
Right.
He's just a bigger punk. But I've known him for a long time. And I teased him. I've known you longer, but I like Taylor more. So, that's just how we roll.
That's fine.
And then, anyway.
Appreciate the time, bud.
Thanks for letting me hang out, and hopefully you'll let me back.
Again, for Terry Harvin, we will have the Sunbelt Conference Media Day tomorrow on Georgia Southern Sports Network Facebook Live starting at 9:30. But for Terry Harvin, this is Colin Lacy saying so long, everybody.
You've been listening to Inside Eagle Nation, powered by Learfield, the official podcast of Georgia Southern Athletics.